Morbid Maniacs, it's time for another spooky video. And for tonight's spooky video, I'm going to be talking all about the legend of the Moss Man. The world is a big, crazy, and wonderful place, with many places being unknown, and many creatures yet to be discovered. In tonight's video, we're going to be talking all about the legend of Florida's Moss Man, a grassy, swamp-like creature who has been tormenting residents for years. The Moss Man, also known as the Paranormal, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly, is a humanoid cryptid which has been spotted in Florida. It is said to resemble or to be very similar to a Sasquatch, but it's more plant-like. It is described as being 6 to 7.5 inches tall and weighs around 200 to 450 pounds. Its body is completely covered in moss and green plant-like foliage, and it has glowing amber-colored eyes which give it a eerie stare. The Moss Man was first spotted back in 1978 when a couple decided to take a stroll along the beach. This beach wasn't far from an area called the Red Reef Park. All of a sudden, they noticed what appeared to be a human-like figure in a raincoat lying by the rocks on the coastline. They didn't pay too much attention to it at first because they were just minding their business. That was until it got up and it stared at them with its glowing amber eyes. They realized what they initially thought was a raincoat was actually this green plant, mossy-like substance which covered the entity's entire body. The couple quickly ended their stroll after this and ran away, and all that was left was a little bit of Spanish moss. And it was from this moment forward that the legend of the Moss Man began. Within the following 2 years, there were accusations and claims of people encountering the Moss Man. People would often report seeing the mossy-like head appear over the mist in the ocean. Locations the Moss Man was spotted included the Red Reef Park, West Palm Beach, and Hillsborough Beach. Some claimed that the entity was a humanoid-like figure, while others say he was more ghost-like. The closest encounter of the Moss Man took place in the Red Reef Park in an area known as the Gumbo Limbo Park, which is 67 acres of coastal land and serves as a marine preserve and environmental education center. It also includes a 20-acre nature center. It would be within this fairly secluded little area that an elderly couple would come face to face with the scary swamp-like creature. At dusk on a warm summer's eve, the elderly couple were taking a walk through a little gravel path which led to the exit. When they noticed some movement in the shrubbery which was beside of them, the woman was more curious than she was concerned and ended up looking down to get a better look. The old couple at first believed that this creature was nothing more than one of the great birds that the park had. But when they were moving away, they got the shock of their lives. Without warning, the shadowy leaf creature jumped up and became face to face with the old woman. And it was like something she had never seen before. Their faces were uncomfortably close as the moss man stared into her eyes. It was then that this couple realized that this entity was something that was out of this world. So they ran as fast as they could to the park ranger's station near the exit. Breathless, they told the rangers about the creature that they had just encountered. The rangers did their very best to calm this old couple down and went out to investigate. But by the time they had got out there, the creature was nowhere to be found. In the 1990s, there were also reports of the Moss Man, but none of these were historically written about. What the Moss Man actually is, that is hard to say. But many people believe that the Moss Man grew moss to blend in with its surroundings and to hunt better. A veteran ranger at the Red Reef Park had explained one of his theories as to what the Moss Man actually was to a man by the name of Greg Jenkins. He was a young man who was studying at military school and was on break for summer and grew a particular interest in the legend of the Moss Man. According to the ranger, the Moss Man could be a result of ancient Native American curse, which dates back many hundred years. After the invasion of the Spanish conquistadors in the 1500s, one Spaniard kidnapped and raped a Native American princess before killing her and cutting off her head. And if that weren't enough, he even tied her head to a tree. The princess's long hair from her severed head had grew and became one with all of the plant life, and her spirit became infused within it. The vegetation, using the spiritual power of the dead princess, had ran the Spanish out of the region. So inspired by the story of the princess, a witch doctor had created a swampy-like creature to kill the remaining Spaniards. This creature would be made of seaweed and would be very Bigfoot or ape-like, potentially covered in some sort of moss or green fur. And others believe that it could be some sort of a swaying plant or something similar. And there was also the story of a creature known as the Father of the Leaves, which I will make a whole separate video on if you guys are interested. But that was the legend of the Moss Man. What do you guys think of this creepy urban legend? What would you do if you ever encountered the Moss Man for yourself? I don't know what I would do, to be honest with you. Not gonna lie, this story really reminds me of a lot of the older, like, favorite horror movies. And I was also reading that that's where this story could be inspired by, but I'm definitely a believer in cryptoid, supernatural-like creatures. I do believe that there's more out there. I do believe that there's creatures out there that are undiscovered. But yeah, let me know what you guys think, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a big ol' thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you have not already, and become Morbid Maniac. And be sure to hit that bell notification, that way you get notified every single time I upload a new video. If you are interested, I post daily sexy content on my OnlyFans account, and that is always in the description box below, so you can go check that out. And I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next one.